When did this apply for you? When my spinal fusion failed. Now it seems like everyone around is wearing that crown. I work as a kinesiologist and have a variety of clients, from kids to adults, clinical and high performance. Very often I see their health as the thing they are the most willing to sacrifice for their achievements and goals, then learn a bit late that health is the most difficult thing to claw back after decades of neglect. Those of you that are waiting for your New Year's resolution to make changes, I implore you to make the change now and let it be the best gift you give yourself. You don't need to tie these goals to New Year's or other arbitrary dates. Around the time I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes at age 3. Over a week or two, following a plane flight where my parents took us to visit relatives in Chicago, I caught some sort of flu bug, and eventually when I got home it appears my immune system attacked the insulin-producing cells in my pancreas. First extremely low blood sugar episode got me a few days in the hospital, and since then I've needed insulin injections to survive. Anytime I see some post-apocalyptic zombie movie and see somebody raiding a pharmacy, it hits me that I'd likely be among the first to die. If you describe vulvodynia, it sounds unpleasant but not that bad. But let me tell you, it ruined my teenage years. First of all, I had no idea why I was in pain. Second of all, I did not have the vocabulary to describe the pain, because I was young, I was shy, and the pain came in so many forms and was so localized, but I didn't have the words. I could not describe the areas that hurt, since I didn't know what was what. Third of all, I had no idea what would cause the pain, so I just had to constantly anticipate that it could happen. If I shifted ever so slightly, pain. But then I could walk briskly and be fine, and then suddenly pain. I could breathe the wrong way, pain. I could stand up or sit down, pain. I could drop something and then have to pick it up, pain. I was in gymnastics. People were acting like I was just imagining my pain, and yet I had to stop doing gymnastics, which I loved. People talk about chronic pain all the time. It's very easy to dismiss it, but it's a whole other ballgame when all you want to be able to do is function like a normal person and you can't. All I wanted to do was be able to walk around and not have to worry about what will hurt, and not have people treat me like I'm being dramatic about it. It makes me angry to think back on it. I have a genetic condition, and am the only one in my family, past or present, to have it. I'll be totally blind probably within 10 years. The cure is $500,000 per eye. But I am happy I got it instead of my brother, because he's in the army, childhood dream achieved, and it would have devastated him. I also have early signs of MS, so that's awesome. I have lupus and usually I'm okay, but I do get pretty bad flares. Last flare made every single joint hurt. It was hard to walk. Heck, it hurt to walk downstairs. Anyway, after that I totally get why the elderly walk so slowly. Joint pain is hell. When you have a cold and are then super happy when you can finally breathe again. Breast cancer 2013. Stage 3B. Missed for a while BC, it was invisible on mammogram. Already spread to other breast and lymph. Treatment was very aggressive chemo, then surgery, then radiation. 6 years cancer free. I know with every fiber of my being what a blessing my health is. This goes for mental health too. My mental health has gone to shit/hell in a handbasket since last year. I feel the difference in who I was before and who I am now. I see the difference between myself and other people who just seem happier than I am. I'm going to be that asshole and say deal with that shit as soon as symptoms start showing. It's a bitch to try and fix when you get in too deep. Basically, when I compare my health to my brother's, he is pretty much healthy, apart from back problems from being tall, which I have too, while I got all the bad genes. Chronic disease, mental issues, run in the female line of the family, allergies, chronic knee, hip and back pain. I can live with that, and usually I am just happy that he doesn't have to deal with all that, but sometimes I get a little jealous. That is a very wise saying. I always try to be thankful for good health and I always try to maintain good health. Shukran. My grandpa died a few years ago because of a combination of cancer and hyper-aggressive dementia. Dementia completely wrecked his brain in just about 2 to 3 years. My stepsis got diagnosed with uterine cancer this summer. My mom's birthday is on Christmas Eve. On the 23rd she got diagnosed with brain cancer. My great-uncle collapsed and is in a coma since today morning. I've had mental health problems for more than 12 years, major depression and several personality disorders. There's even more, but why bother? Life isn't exactly fair. Edit, thank you all very much for your support. I have overactive lymph nodes in my neck and once a decade generally I get a golf ball-sized tumor in the side of my neck. I had one removed at 7, and another removed at 19. When I went to the doctor I asked him what the chances were that it would end up to be cancer. He told me to think of it as 50-50, and that he wouldn't know until he removed it. At 19, I genuinely started thinking, what if I have cancer? Will I endure chemo or will I live the remainder of my young life to the absolute fullest? It was the first time I realized that I could be sick with more than just a cold. Suddenly I wasn't invincible. I've taken much better care of myself since then, and made sure that my family knows what decision I will make if the next one that grows is cancer. Edited to fix punctuation. I've always been in not ideal health, but I've only had it twice where it was fully debilitating and once when this saying applied. My right arm is fucked up TM from a nurse totally bunging up my fore and never checking on me after I brought up that it didn't feel right. My bicep muscle is damaged, as are my nerves and tendons. I thought I was numb to being unhealthy before this, but this forced me to confront the luxury I'd been living with. Even if my stomach hated me, even if my body was in more pain than it could sometimes handle, even if my back limited me, I at least had control of my extremities. This injury totally changed that. I lose feeling in my hands sometimes and had trouble with motor control at the beginning. There is nothing like the frustration and terror of not being able to hold something, of not being able to write or type. I was a gimp for over 8 months as my body did its best to repair what it could. I had constantly to curl my arm up and rest my right hand on my right shoulder because extending it all the way hurt so damn much. I was at a family reunion last August about 6 or 7 months after the initial injury, when I was still in full denial of how bad it was. I couldn't pick up my cousins. They'd cuddle with me and want me to take them to bed when they fell asleep, but I couldn't. I had tried lifting an ice machine for my uncle and nearly dropped it when my arm gave out. I tried to help swing my littlest cousin, but nearly dropped her. I holed up in our trailer and just bawled after that. I had to confront how bad the injury was, and how I'd probably never have full use of my arm again. It's been nearly 2 years at this point. I still am restricted in the use of my arm and it's no longer noticeably healing. Nearly no one outside my immediate family understand how utterly fucked my arm is. I look healthy, so people just assume I'm capable. Some of my managers at work just don't get that I physically can't do what they ask of me. I need a wheeled rack to put clothes back because my arm can't handle the strain. I can't stay on a register the whole time because of some of the motions involved, like folding or bagging clothes. I can't help a customer carry 2 heavy items, only one of my arms can accomplish it. My arm will give out. It will go numb. It will burn and tingle to the point of agony. I'm not being dramatic or useless when I hold firm to my limits or rest my arm against my body. Also, wow, this got long, sorry about that. I rarely get to vent about it. So, when I started getting treated for ADHD as an adult, taking medication feels like having some kind of life-altering super soldier serum. I can just look at a pile of dirty clothes and think I should put on a load of laundry and then actually put on a load of laundry and hang it out when it's done, like some kind of normal person. Edit, also, antidepressants. Did you guys know that an ever-present sense of misery with the state of reality isn't normal? Turns out you're supposed to not be overwhelmed by the state of the world and just live your life day to day and make plans for the future, doing things you enjoy with people you love. Mind blowing.